Hey guys, it's Melanie. So today for Vlogmas, I'm just going to be doing a little bit of a chit chat, and it is regarding the 3-year update to my mommy makeover surgery. Those of you that have been with me for a really long time know that 3 years ago now I went through this really major surgery. It was elective. The procedures that I had for my mommy makeover were a breast reduction. I know a lot of people are like, oh, why would you do that? And a tummy tuck with muscle repair. So I do have a whole series on my main channel regarding the mommy makeover stuff, from how much I paid for it, to what I had to do to prep for it, to what it was like afterwards. I will warn you that some of the videos aren't super pleasant, especially the ones immediately after. I look like crap, I felt like crap. It was not an easy surgery. I've actually recently had quite a number of people like leave comments saying like, God, you're such a baby. You guys, this was not an easy surgery. I know that, you know, if you have a C-section, you kind of have a somewhat similar experience, but you know, I was cut from hip to hip and my muscles were repaired from like basically my sternum all the way down to like my pubic bone. Like all of my stomach muscles had separated. So all of that stuff had to be sewn back together, and that was a pretty massive part of my surgery. Plus I had a breast reduction that removed quite a bit of tissue. So it was not easy to go through, but I'll kind of talk about that here in a minute. So if you're curious about any of the stuff that I did to prep for the surgery, if you're thinking about going through it yourself, if you want to see the before footage of what I looked like, all of that is in the playlist. So go to my main channel and look through that playlist and you'll find the videos that, you know, you might be interested in. But in terms of, you know, am I still glad 3 years later that I did the surgery? Absolutely. There has never ever been a regret for me. I was really fortunate in that Craig was super supportive. I had wanted a breast reduction since I was in high school, so that was kind of the biggest part of this surgery, and initially what I went in for, and then, you know, it sort of progressed into doing the tummy tuck as well. When I was in high school, I matured very quickly in the boob department, very rapidly. Within a matter of like less than a year, I went from like a B cup to like a double D, and then my boobs just kept growing even more. I wasn't overweight, just genetically, big boobs run in my family. And I wasn't into it. I didn't like the attention that I got because of my boobs. It always made me uncomfortable, and especially after I got done breastfeeding Stella, I was just like, I'm done. The only reason I didn't have a breast reduction earlier in life is because I knew if I had a kid that I wanted to breastfeed. And oftentimes when you do a breast reduction, there is a very large chance that you are not able to breastfeed afterwards. So I sort of stuck it out until after I had Stella, and that actually probably worked out for the best. So I had the breast reduction, which was the biggest part of it, and then after I had Stella, I had a really bad case of what they call diastasis recti. So when you are pregnant, your stomach muscles separate, and then for most people, they come back together and you're able to sort of tone those muscles back up with diet and exercise. And, you know, some women are lucky enough to get their 6-pack or whatever they had prior back. My muscles basically stayed out here. They never went back together, and there was no amount of exercise, sit-ups, crunches, planks, whatever, that were going to bring those muscles back together. They needed to be repaired surgically, not only to give me my core strength back, but to also prevent having a hernia. So, like I said, my muscles were separated from basically the top of like where my sternum is all the way down to my pubic area. I had a huge gap. When I would lay down flat, I could actually feel my intestines moving because all I had was that like little layer of muscle there, and you know, a little bit of like fat left over from pregnancy. And Like I could feel the food like moving through. It was creepy, you guys. It was really creepy, and I had no core strength. And so I decided to do the tummy tuck, which also did remove some skin that was left over from pregnancy. So that was nice to get rid of. Obviously this surgery was not any kind of medical requirement. I did it on my own free will, and insurance did not cover it. They did not cover the breast reduction either. I could have probably worked a little bit harder to get the insurance to cover the breast reduction, but I was tired of like going to doctors at that point, because I had just had Stella the year before, and I was just kind of over it, and I knew that I could do both together, and so that's what we opted to do. So I had both surgeries on the same day. I think I was under for like 7 hours. I honestly can't remember exactly how long. The first 2 days afterwards were a little bit of a blur. I do have some footage of myself where I'm pretty out of it, in quite a bit of pain. Looking back now, all of the pain was absolutely worth it. Like I said, I do not regret the surgery. I have core strength now. I can do sit-ups. Like everything is healed. Like my stomach muscles are back together. There's no risk of me getting a hernia at this point. I just feel great. And I love my smaller boobs. I love them. I actually wish they were smaller even, but I think they're very proportionate for my body now. In terms of scarring, does the scarring bother me? Not at all. It's not even really noticeable. I will try to see if I can get some good footage that I will put at the end of this video of my tummy tuck scar. I'm not going to show you guys my boob scars because I'm not putting my boobs on the internet. But I had a lollipop incision for my breast reduction, so the scar underneath you can't see because my boobs cover it. And then in terms of like the line down and then around my nipple, you can never tell that my boobs were done. Like if you were to look at me straight on, it doesn't look like I had a breast reduction or anything done to my boobs. They just look like really good boobs, I guess. I mean, they're very symmetrical now. Like she just got them like right on. Like when I look in the mirror, one of my boobs used to be just a little bit bigger than the other. When I look in the mirror now, I'm like, wow, they're even. And it still kind of amazes me because I'm like, holy crap. Like I've never been able to look at my boobs and go, hey, look at that, and it's perfectly normal for one boob to be bigger than the other, and it's not a big deal, but it's kind of a nice novelty, I guess, to be able to be like, oh, they're even, like everything is in the same spot on both boobs. So that's kind of nice. The tummy tuck scar doesn't bother me either. I mean, I'm able to wear a two-piece now, and a little bit of my scar does peak up on either side, because I had to have a revision done after a year. I had some dog years, and I talk about the revision as well in the playlist. So if you're curious about that, go watch that video. But, the revision hurt like a mother. Like I remember like the numbing shots that she put in hurt so bad. I was like, what the F? I almost like walked out after she put like because she had to do multiple shots to like numb the entire area. After the first one, I was like, F this, I will just live with the dog ears. She was like, you're gonna be fine. Use the little squeezy ball. But yeah, the revision caused the scar to go up slightly on either side, whereas before, like, you couldn't see it at all when I was wearing like a swimsuit or underwear. Now I don't care. Like, I don't care if people know that I had the surgery. I'm not ashamed of it in any kind of way. I'm not. I know that there is a lot of stigma about like plastic surgery. I don't personally care. I think whatever people want to do to help themselves feel better, go and do it. If you want to do something like this, there's a ton of resources out there and lots of people who have put information on YouTube about it, which is how I got all of my information. And yeah, like, just, it doesn't matter what other people say. If this is something that you know is going to help you feel better about yourself, go do it. If you have the money to do it, go do it. If you don't, or you think it's wrong, then just don't do it. You know, like that's always kind of been my thought. I've had a lot of people over the last 3 years who've been like, you're so vain, you're so shallow, you could have put that money towards something else. And it's like, totally could have, but this is what I chose to do. Like, it was my decision and I've never regretted it. And we had the money for it. Like, you know, we didn't take out a loan or anything. We had, so we covered quite a bit of the surgery with like a down payment, just cash. And then Care Credit had like, we could have paid for it outright, but we did this Care Credit thing where there was no interest for a year. So we just made equal monthly payments because that was fine for us. And I never paid anything in terms of interest or anything like that. I do encourage you to save up for the surgery if you want to do something like this, and, you know, don't put it on like a credit card that has like 20% interest. Don't do that. Like, if there's something that you really want, save up for it. But, you know, that kind of stuff is all personal. But for us, we were able to do it. I feel great about myself now. I'm a lot more confident, especially about my breasts, like more so than anything else. Like I feel like I can walk around and not be hunched over. I don't have back pain anymore. Like my shoulders are where they're supposed to be. I feel great. Like, I honestly have no regrets, no complaints. Did it suck pain-wise? Yeah, but that's what the pills are for. You know, they sort of help you through the first couple weeks. But afterwards, it takes a full year to heal, just so you're aware. Any type of major surgery like that, you're not going to see the full results until about a year later. I have my full results now, and I'm very pleased with them, and I would never go back and change it in any kind of way, short of maybe pushing the doctor a little bit more towards like smaller boobs. But some of that definitely had to do with like just the structure of my boobs and what she could do with what was there. So, you know, I have to kind of trust her expertise on that. My doctor was amazing. Some people have asked me for my doctor's name. I don't feel comfortable giving that out because I feel like that would be weird. But she was great. She was a really good doctor. I've told several of my close friends about her that were interested in having this surgery. She was great. She listened, and she was an expert in reconstructive surgery for breasts. So a lot of women that have had breast cancer have gone to her to have reconstructive surgery, and she's just an awesome, amazing woman. She listened. She was very compassionate and understanding and took her time, and she was just wonderful. So anyway, I guess that's kind of my update for you guys. So no regrets. Still very happy I did it. And like I said, I'll try to see if I can get some footage that is worthwhile to tuck in at the end here. But if you guys do have any questions that aren't answered in any of the videos in the playlist, definitely leave them down below. You know, if you guys have any negative comments, I'm sure you have noticed I just delete negative comments. So just don't bother leaving them because I'm just gonna get rid of them. Like I don't want that kind of stuff on my channel. You know, I do the things that I want to do in life. I don't judge other people on what they do. If you would never dream about getting plastic surgery, just don't do it, you know. But I don't think it's fair to say to somebody else, you should never like alter your body that way. You know, I didn't go off and get like a giant pair of tits. Like I got mine reduced. You know, I just wanted to look like myself, like how I envisioned for myself, which is just very natural, very normal. I'm not, you know, I'm not ostentatious in any kind of way. Like I'm not looking to, you know, lay out on the beach in like an itty bitty bikini type of thing. I'm past that point in my life. I just wanted to look normal and like how I envisioned myself in my head, which is just very like, I'm a mom, you know, like I didn't want anything special. So anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. If I can get some good footage, I'll put it in now, but leave me any questions down below. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'm hoping that you guys can see this. This is where the revision happened. It started right here and goes to here. I do still There is still a little bit of a dog ear effect that happens. You can see that the skin isn't quite as smooth, but I honestly don't really care. And then the original scar starts here and it goes down pretty low, so I'm not gonna pull my pants down that far, but hopefully you can make out that it's very, very faint at this point. I mean, I can barely see it. I do have some scar tissue here that never really went away, so you can kind of see a little bit of like a bump, but I mean, it doesn't really bother me. That just never flattened out, and scar tissue is a potential side effect, so that's something to keep in mind, but it doesn't bother me. You guys can see, hopefully you can see my belly button there, but yeah, the belly button has healed really nicely. There isn't much of a scar left around that, but yeah, I mean, this isn't bad at all. I'm really pleased with how the scar looks overall, so nothing to complain about there. So there you guys have it. Let me know if you have any questions.